We're gonna start in child's pose, so bring your knees as wide as comfortable for you with your big toes touching behind you. Send your hips back towards your heels. Extend your arms as far out to the top of the mat as you can, and then rest your forehead down on the ground. You can start to massage out the third eye. The forehead rocking it side to side. Bring the hands behind the head to prayer. Bring the thumbs back towards the base of the neck. Really focusing on the breath today. Trying to get in as much air into the belly as possible. Oftentimes we breathe so shallow into our chest. We forget that we have this whole belly to breathe into, especially as females, we like to tuck in our belly and pretend we're really skinny. But it's important to expand the belly and push it out as far as you can. Stay here in child's pose. And just really try and deepen through the breath. Notice where the breath goes in the body. Try and get into the intercostal muscles, the spaces between the ribs. Maybe feel the belly push against the thighs. Maybe creating an audible breath, Ujjayi breath. And then with your next inhale, bring the knees together to embryo's pose. And then take the hands behind the heels. Keep the forehead rested on the mat. And just hold here for a couple breaths. Curled into this tiny ball. Hands anchored onto the heels. So focused on that breath. And then with your next inhale, rabbit's pose, you're going to lift your hips up to the sky. As you stretch through the shoulders. Push your weight onto the forehead and the crown of your head. And the more you clasp onto your heels and push the hips forward, the more strict length you're going to get through the spine, through the shoulders. Just hold here. And then your next exhale, push the hips back down towards the heels. Make your way up to tabletop position. Come to the hands and the knees. Stack the hands underneath the shoulders. The knees stack underneath the hips. And then your next inhale, cow pose. Drop the belly, lift the gaze, and then take the tips of the shoulder blades away from the ears to broaden through the chest. Then your next exhale, pull the belly button up towards the spine. As you curl the tailbone in and tuck the chin in, you puff up through the shoulder blades as much as you can. Push through your hands as much as possible. Maybe the toes come to the ground. Or maybe you flip and have the tops of the feet on the ground. Your next inhale, drop, lift the gaze, cow pose. Really trying to pull the shoulders in opposite directions. Then exhale, push through shoulder blades, through the hands. Maybe you wiggle through the hips. Inhale, drop the belly, lift the gaze. Go through a couple cat-cows with your own breath, remembering to breathe into the belly as deep as possible. Really focus on the breath, increasing that breath capacity. And then your next inhale, tuck your toes. Exhale, downward facing dog. Lift the hips high. Push the heels down towards the ground. Maybe bend the knees if the hamstrings are really tight. And then pedal out the legs. Start to walk the dog. One heel drops at a time as you come out of the toes. Nemo, please move. Come on, bud. No. Stay in down dog. Ignore the cat. Start to widen the stance. Really push through the index fingers. Push the shoulders back. The chest towards the hips. Roll the shoulders away from the ears. Bend the knees if you need. And then maybe you work on extending from there. So maybe you bend your knees super deep. And then work on lifting the hips and keeping the chest going back towards the thighs. Your next inhale, lift the gaze. Come through high plank, shift the weight over the shoulders, over the wrists, and then you can adjust. So then you push the heels back, the shoulders step directly over the wrists. Pull the belly button up to engage the core. Then inhale, push onto the toes again, so you shift the shoulders past the hands. Lift through the hips and the belly button first. Then exhale, downward facing dog. Sink the heels down towards the mat. Walk the dog again. Let one shoulder drop at a time. Find a little bit of movement. Remember to keep the awareness on the breath though. Then your next inhale, back on the toes, back towards high plank. Push the heels back to push the shoulders directly over the wrists. Inhale, shift the shoulders in front of the wrists. Lift the hips and the belly button to the sky. Then exhale, push the hips up. The heels sink down towards the mat. Down dog. Take a few breaths here. Maybe you find stillness, or maybe you continue to pedal out the legs and find movement. Then your next inhale, last time, shift the weight over the wrists. Push the heels back, high plank, use the core. Inhale, shift back. Exhale, lift through the core. Exhale, sink the heels back towards the mat. Well, inhale, now you're gonna widen your stance as much as possible. Bend your knees, crouching tiger, lift the gaze. Push the hips back towards the heels. The knees out wide, then inhale, lift the hips back up. As you exhale, the heels reach down towards the mat. Inhale, come back onto those toes. Exhale, open the knees to sit the hips low, crouching tiger. Inhale, lift the hips high. Exhale, push the heels down. Inhale, shift the hips. Crouching tiger. Gaze up to the top of the mat. Different here. Exhale, walk yourself to the top, forward fold. Hang the neck. Take the hands to the back of the head. Just as extra weight. Take the hands and interlace them together. Release the body. Bend the knees as much as you need. But try and shift as much weight as you can in the balls of the feet without tipping over. As you lift the hips a little bit higher. And try and get a little deeper each exhale. Your next inhale, halfway lift, roll the shoulders again away from the ears as you flatten through the spine. The crown of the head reaches forward. Your hips move back towards the back wall. Finding this length, then exhale, fold back deep into your forward fold. Bend the knees if you need. Inhale, bend the knees and engage your core as you rise to standing Tadasana, arms sweep overhead. Then as you exhale, take the back bend, lift through the sternum first, then take the hands to a cactus, the arms to a cactus. As you lift the chest up, the gaze up, slight tuck of the tailbone as you reach the gaze back towards the back wall. Then inhale, come back to your center. Long flat spine all the way down, forward fold, release the neck at the bottom. Then the knees, plant the hands, and step your left foot back so that you're in low lunge. The knee stacks directly over the ankle. Drop down to the back knee, low crescent lunge, full inhale, squeeze the inner thighs, lift the chest up, then exhale, take a small back bend. As you sink into your left hip, reach the arms towards the back wall, gaze up. Take a few breaths here, holding, squeeze the inner thighs to control how far you drop in towards that left hip. And then your next exhale, half split, start to shift the hips back towards the back wall as you start to straighten your front leg. Reach the forehead down towards the shin. Sorry if that was all Nemo. Your next inhale, you slowly start to bend the right knee. Heel toe the right foot out towards the side. Runner's lunge, open through the right knee. Take the hands to blocks, pillows, whatever you can use that's available to you if you need them. Lengthen through the spine, roll the shoulders away from the ears. Maybe drop all the way down to the elbows if you like. Then your next inhale, slowly start to come back on the hands. Hop up off the back knee, but keep the foot towards the edge of the mat here. Lizard pose. Then your next exhale, you're going to take a twist. Either keep the feet here when the right arm lifts high, or you can start to roll out onto both outer edges of the feet, sinking the hips a little bit lower. Lift the gaze towards the right hand. Then your next exhale, walk yourself to wide-legged forward fold on the side of the mat. Point the toes in and pigeon toe if you don't have sciatic problems and you're comfortable with it, or you can just keep them parallel. Same thing in our wide-legged forward fold. You want to shift as much weight in the balls of the feet to lift the hips a little bit higher and bring the chest a little bit closer to the thighs as you release all the tension in the neck and the back and let gravity really take over. Full inhale to lengthen through the spine, roll the shoulders back away from the ears. Exhale to sink a little deeper into the forward fold, maybe drawing the chest a little closer towards the thighs, maybe stacking yourself all the way underneath the hips. Your next inhale, halfway lift, roll the shoulders away from the ears, lengthen through the spine, pull the belly button up to get that arch to remove. Then exhale, walk yourself to the top of the mat, low lunge. Step the left foot to meet the right foot, forward fold, hang heavy for a moment. Maybe you bend your knees in ragdoll. Grab opposite elbows. Maybe find a little bit of sway or a little bit of stillness. And then your next inhale, bend the knees, engage the core, rise, standing arms sweep overhead. Exhale to take that back bend, cactus through the arms. Lift the gaze, lift through the sternum, slight tuck of the tailbone. Inhale, long flat spine all the way down, reach the chest forward. Exhale to release and fold at the bottom. Inhale, halfway lift, bend the knees, plant the hands. Step the right foot back, this time low lunge. Drop down to the back knee, squeeze through the inner thighs, low crescent lunge. Exhale, slowly start to sink into your right hip as you lift the arms towards the back wall. Continue to squeeze through the inner thighs to control how much you drop towards that leg. Roll the shoulders away from the ears and hold here. Your next exhale, half splits, push the hips back into space as you straighten as much as you can through the left leg, maybe grabbing blocks or whatever you have to your sides. Maybe you work your way all the way back towards full splits. And then your next inhale, slowly start to rebend that left leg. So focus on the breath, heel toe the left foot out towards the edge. Sink into your runner's lunge, sink towards your right hip. Try and stay evenly rooted through both hips, not rolling out onto the one or the other. Open through the left hip by rolling out on the outer edge of the right foot. Lift through the chest and gaze, maybe come all the way down to the elbows. Your next inhale, lizard pose, pop up off the back knee. But keep the left foot out towards the edge. Your left hand starts to lift high. Take the twist, either rolling out onto both edges of your feet or just staying in that neutral runner's lunge position with the twist. And then your next exhale, the left hand comes down. Walk yourself all the way to your wide-legged forward fold at the right side of the mat. Adjust your feet, adjust your stance if you need to heel toe yourself closer or farther apart. Start to lengthen through the tailbone up towards the sky as you shift the weight farther in towards the balls of the feet. The hands can be wherever, they can ragdoll. Maybe you take them behind the legs. This is where I like to go. A lot of the times I like to use my arms to pull myself underneath the hips. Use the breath. Try and use the breath to deepen the stretch. And then your next inhale, halfway lift. Roll the shoulders away from the ears. Exhale, walk yourself to the top of the mat. Low lunge. And exhale, take yourself to a forward fold at the top of the mat. The right foot steps to meet the left. Hang the neck heavy. Ragdoll, grab opposite elbows this time. Trying to find the balance. Your next inhale, bend the knees, engage the core, rise, standing arms sweep overhead. Exhale, cactus arms. Take the back bend, slight tug the tailbone. Inhale, long flat spine, all the way down, forward fold. Inhale, bend the knees, plant the hands, take one chaturanga. Or maybe you take several, starting from high plank, shift the shoulders over the wrists, bend the elbows and squeeze them in towards the midline. Flip the toes. Then as you inhale, keep the thighs, the knees lifted as you lift the chest up and roll the shoulders down and back. Then exhale to lift the hips high. If you want to go through a couple chaturangas, from down dog, shift back to high plank, inhale, shift the weight forward. Always an option to go from tabletop to modify. Inhale, shift the weight forward, exhale, lower halfway, squeeze the elbows in, flip the toes, up dog, the chest comes up and the shoulders rotate back. Then exhale, tuck the toes, the hips lift high, downward facing. As many chaturangas as you like, maybe you even add in chaturanga push-ups. And then moving through your vinyasa. Your next inhale, you can come down to your knees. Back to tabletop position. Just a neutral tabletop. Find that breath. And then your next inhale. Cow pose, drop the belly, lift the gaze, spread the shoulders away from the ears. Exhale, curl and round, draw the belly button up towards the spine, puff up through the shoulders. Inhale, neutral spine, make your way down to your sit bones, to a seated position, to butterflies pose, bring the soles of the feet together, lengthen first through the spine, push the ground away, engage the body. Pull the belly button back to the spine, not a lazy butterfly here. This is not what we're looking for. As you see, I don't have an anterior tilt in my pelvis, so lengthen through the spine. That's what we really want, so it's important to be engaged here. Roll the shoulders away from the ears. Find as long spine as you can as you engage the core. Then as you exhale, find that anterior tilt in the pelvis. Reach the chest as far forward as you can. And then stretch through the hips. The hands can tiptoe forward. Maybe you come all the way down to the elbows. Trying to still lengthen through the spine. Still trying to get deeper with each exhale. And then your next inhale, the chest starts to lift. Pull the right knee up towards the sky. Extend the left leg out towards the top of the mat. Inhale, arms rise. Exhale, the right hand comes behind the left elbow across to the outer edge of the right knee, the hand up towards the sky and open. You can push through your right hand to push the chest farther in towards the right leg. Continue to push through the left arm to take the twist even deeper. Using your breath, your exhale, to try and reach the gaze all the way to the back wall. Feel the belly push against the thigh. Twist, hold here. Your next inhale, slowly start to unwind. To come back through butterfly pose, find that anterior tilt in the pelvis, then exhale, start to hinge at the hips. Reach the chest forward. Maybe notice the difference between sides. And as you inhale, you lift the chest, extend the right leg out, Marachis or Marichis, I'm not sure. Left knee up towards the sky, squeezes in towards the belly button. The spine isn't here. You can walk the left leg out a little bit if you need more room. Then inhale, the arms start to rise. Exhale, the left hand comes behind. Find that twist from the trunk first. Then exhale, the right hand comes up, the right elbow to the outer edge of the left knee. Maybe you walk that left foot in a little bit more so you find a little bit more space. Inhale, push through the left arm to really push the belly into the thigh and find a little bit more length and tallness in the spine. The right arm continues to push into the left leg to find a deeper twist. Hold here. Inhale, bring the chest back through center. Extend both legs out towards the top of the mat. Inhale, the arms rise. Anterior tilt in the pelvis first, then exhale, hinge at the hips, reach the chest forward. Paschimottanasana, seated forward fold. Release the neck. Pull the shoulders away from the ears. Lengthen through the spine, really push through the low back to push the chest a little bit farther forward. Your next inhale, slowly start to lift the chest up, and then come all the way down to the back. Take half waterfall pose. You're going to extend your right leg up towards the sky. Then your exhale to slowly start to bend the right knee into the chest as you keep the right heel lifted up. You can take the hands behind the thigh if the foot's not available, but always trying to work towards the foot and pull the knee. Press it farther in towards the chest, the armpit. Still focus on trying to deepen through the breath. Your next inhale, switch sides, the right leg extends, left leg extends up towards the sky, half waterfall pose. The hands, whether maybe on the belly, maybe next to you on the sides. Your next inhale, slowly start to take the hands behind the thighs, behind the left thigh, bring the left knee in towards the chest, flex the left toes, bring the hands to the top of the left foot, and you can find that compression in towards the belly and the armpit. Feeling the stretch in the hip. Again, using the breath. Next inhale to slowly bend both knees in the chest, full wind removing pose. Lengthen the tailbone on the mat if it wants to start to lift. Keep the head released on the mat. And then your next inhale, the heels both lift up. Find happy babies pose. Grab the outside edges of the feet. Pull the knees down towards the ground. Maybe rock side to side. Using the breath, hold for as long as you like. And then when you're ready, curling up into a tiny ball, taking a full inhale. And then your full exhale to extend, find a full body stretch, the heels reach in opposite directions with the fingers. And then your exhale to find final Shavasana. It's up to you how long you like to take it. You can make it a meditation. You could just end it there. You could always rock onto your side into that fetal position, resting your hand on the right bicep, the head on the hand. Really comforting pose. I hope you enjoyed this movement, and that you guys are doing good, and I hope life brings you all nothing but happiness and joy. Namaste. See you guys next time, I guess, or whenever this thing's over.